Rome, the most powerful empire in the ancient world. But behind its power was a family, one that would slowly drive it toward chaos. This is the story of a bloodline so powerful, it didn't just rule Rome, it nearly destroyed it. At the center of it all was one name, Caligula. But how did Rome go from order to madness? To understand that, we have to go back to the rise of one of Rome's most powerful families. Rome was expanding rapidly. Power, wealth, and influence were concentrated among a few elite families. One family stood above the rest, the Julio-Claudian dynasty. They didn't just influence Rome, they controlled it. Through alliances, politics, and strategy, they secured their dominance. But power like this comes at a cost. Behind the scenes, rivalries were forming, trust was rare, and ambition was everywhere. In Rome, power didn't just attract loyalty, it attracted enemies. The higher you rose, the more dangerous it became. And then came Caligula. Born into power, raised among soldiers, and surrounded by politics, Caligula grew up in the shadow of influence and expectation. He saw the reality of power early: conflict, betrayal, and control. These experiences would shape who he would become. As he grew older, Caligula gained attention. To the public, he represented a new generation of leadership. When power shifted, Caligula was ready. He became Emperor of Rome. At first, his rule seemed promising. Rome was stable. The people were optimistic. It looked like a new era had begun. But slowly, things began to change. His behavior became unpredictable. Those close to him began to notice. The same tension that once existed returned. And what followed would shock all of Rome. Caligula's rule took a dark turn. He made decisions that confused even his closest allies. With no one to challenge him, his power became absolute. Fear began to spread across Rome. He grew distant from those around him. Lavish displays of wealth became common. He demanded loyalty without question. The empire began to feel unstable. Public opinion began to shift. Rome was reaching a breaking point. Behind closed doors, opposition grew. Speaking out was dangerous, but silence was worse. A plan began to take shape. They decided something had to be done. In 41 AD, the plan was put into motion. Caligula was assassinated. Chaos followed. The empire was left without clear leadership. Rome was stunned. The reign of Caligula was over. But the story didn't end there. The same bloodline remained in power. Its influence continued to shape Rome. This was more than one ruler. It was a system, a pattern of power, control, and instability. Historians continue to debate how much of this was inevitable. But one thing is clear: unchecked power can change everything. And in Rome, it nearly destroyed an empire. History remembers.